Capricorn. So I just wanted to start the video off and just like say the reason why this is on my face. I nearly pulled my nose ring out of my face. So it was kind of either stare at a nasty scab or this. So, okay. All right, so I have a reading here for you guys. I actually pulled these cards a few days ago and then just haven't really felt like called to sit down and read. So these have just been sitting on my desk for several days. So like some different things have kind of actually come in because of that. So we'll kind of get into that soon. Okay, so your first card is the Two of Water. One of my most favorite Two of Water cards. Just beautiful. Okay, and on the bottom, we have the Two of Fire. So we have 2 and 2. 2 and 2. Okay. And on this deck, so this is Mary L. Tarot. He is naked. This is my Daughter of Poseidon card. Kind of a little risky right there, but this is what's showing. So we have the Ace of Cups. Ace of Cups. And on the bottom, we have the Eight of Swords. Eight of Swords. My cat might jump up here in just a minute, so we'll see. Okay. Your messages. So we have Goddess, Watch, Something Needs Attention, Scout, Marigold, Wednesday, Queen Herbie. We have this symbol. So this is my alchemy symbol for the dove. It means a little more in my own life, but I created this. It's just like a dove symbol. I'm actually going to get it tattooed right here. But like these little 3 dots mean something even more important. So we'll see if that means something in your reading. Okay, and then we have Elaborate Stories and Vikings. So, okay. So Two of Water. I mean, just obviously it's like a passionate embrace, an emotional embrace. Clearly they're naked, so you know. Yeah, it's just emotions. It's like a soulmate card. Like where the emotions of people are meeting. And I have my whole like theory behind like well, we'll get into that. So soulmate basically in my book is like where people's emotional energy are meeting, like having found your fish, your emotional counterpart, your emotional equal. Scorpio got this, and I think it was my very first reading. That was what came through for that. The emotional equal. Okay, and so then on the bottom we have the Two of Fire. So this is just an interesting Two of Fire card. Normally it's kind of a card where someone, it's more so like the first intention of like manifesting something, like the projection of your intention. Yeah, but we have 2 women here, or even two ideas, 2 passions, 2 creative goals. Like this could be the 2 people. I mean, we have 2 and 2 right here. So actually, so this is the emotional equal. And you could even say for this reading, like a passionate equal, creative equal. Someone who can even manifest well with you. creative goals or creative passion, you know. Okay. And with this is the Ace of Water. So this is a new emotional experience, but it means more to me. Just, it's the card that like helped start my channel when I was really kind of digging in, trying to figure out like what the intention behind my channel. And this was the main card. And so, yeah, so an emotional beginning, emotional start. It's the first cup. So it's like, you know, when people say like having your cup full, like you have to be able to have a full cup if you're wanting, you know, a cup from another person. Like this. Actually, in traditional tarot, it's two people handing each other a cup. So, okay. So I actually had a tarot class years ago, and she explained it to me really well. Where when two people are bringing each other a cup, so this is the card, where two people are bringing each other their cup of love, or their cup of emotion, whatever that means to you. And so it's basically like, what's in your cup? Like, what are you expecting to receive from another person? And is yours of like that quality? Or like, if you're expecting to give over, or if you're expecting to receive like a pure cup of love, you know, clean, you know, it's kind of like, what is in your cup? Assessing what's in your cup. Is your cup equal? Is your cup clean? Are you bringing forth something pure? Or do you have dirty water? Are you expecting clean water from someone else when you have dirty water in your own cup? So it's just like really making sure that you know what's in your cup. Like, it's about not necessarily focusing on the other person. It's about knowing what you have to offer, what you are bringing in. Yeah. Okay, so that's what this really reminds me of. Oh, I don't know if you guys saw that fly across the screen. It's a little bug. So that looks really like what this is. Knowing what's in your cup, knowing what you're bringing forward, knowing what you have to give, understanding maybe even what you want from another, and knowing and understanding what you're bringing. Just be that simple. Okay. And then we have the Eight of Swords. And I actually love this card. I actually wrote a poem about this card. I was writing a poem and I got this card, and it just like, it was almost like it was just meant, it was just almost like it was meant to be, like that poem was already written. It was almost like having all of the, like having all the color to something, and then all of a sudden something shows up and all of a sudden you have the image to it, if that makes sense. Like almost like it's already been written and you just needed that extra piece and everything just came together. That's what this card represents to me. I know it's the Eight of Swords, which doesn't sound like an Eight of Swords card. Traditionally, it's someone who is like stuck between a bunch of swords. So like stuck in their mind, but they're technically not stuck. It's an illusion. So, but this also kind of reminds me of like protection. So that's the kind of bad side of the Eight of Swords card. It's like an illusion of being trapped. Whereas this card is almost like a boundary, creating a boundary. And like my poem, I'm not gonna say the name of it right now because it's one of the ones I don't really want to share. But it's really about like building your kingdom, building your boundaries, and your kingdom within your own mind, your kingdom, making sure that the waters are healthy, that they're doing what you're wanting them to do, that you understand the role that your emotions, that your water is playing in something. It looks quite passionate right here. Like it looks like an emotional connection. Might not be for everyone, but it looks like something emotional and even passionate. Like, I mean, look, I mean, we have 2 and 2. 2 and 2. Emotional equal and passionate equal. Emotional love, maybe even like you know, sexual love, you know, we'll see. Okay. But yeah, really taking care of your inner kingdom, really looking at everything. I sure checks and balances. Okay, so then the messages, we have Goddess Watch. So I wrote this as like something being observed, like the feminine being observed, the goddess energy being observed, something being alerted, yeah, something being watched. Maybe this is you watching something else or someone else, or this could even mean like someone observing you, the goddess nature within you, the feminine within you. This could even represent like a rite of passage, like goddess, someone like blooming and someone becoming something more, something even like a girl becoming a woman, even like 16 is a rite of passage, someone becoming something else, like elevation, a step up in some way, and this is being observed. So Goddess Watch is right below this, and these look like 2 goddesses. This could represent 2 people, but it could also represent for someone just like going from one nature to another. Goddess Watch. Okay, something needs attention. So something needs attention. Something needs to be looked at deeper, an awareness around something. It's sitting with these 2 people. It's sitting right underneath this as well. And so Goddess Watch almost kind of it's sitting right underneath this, and then something needs attention is sitting under this. So this could be just, this literally could just be about you, just observing something within yourself, watching why you do something, understanding why you do something, understanding this like passionate nature within you. Yeah, something needs attention. Understanding your fire. 2, balance. Something needs attention. Okay, I don't want to get stuck on that. We'll let it kind of come through when it's ready. Okay, then we have Scout. So this came through in a Libra reading a couple weeks ago. It just means like something watching for something. We have Goddess Watch here, but Scout. And how it came through was that scene in Lord of the Rings where they're traveling across the land. They're trying to get the group of people from one place to another. And there was what is that? Not a gremlin. I was gonna say ogre. That's also not what I mean. It's funny because I was just watching like stuff about Shrek. Huh, so maybe that has nothing to do with what that was because it's not coming to mind. So it's just something watching for something. This could be a very good energy. Like I was just watching Shrek and that was a good energy. I was meaning to say something else, but ogre was what came through. An ogre scout? Something watching something. Being alerted to something, because a scout can also like be someone who observes, like a messenger, and brings it back, like to a kingdom. But it's over here, it's not over there. So something, oh, a scout going out to observe? Or is this a scout? This almost looks like something away from home. Okay, then we have marigold. And so this means several different things to me. So marigold is a flower, but it's also a flower that you plant in a tomato garden. It helps the tomatoes grow. I forgot if it's like more juicy or more flavorful, but it's called companion planting. And I know marigolds with tomatoes are supposed to be like the perfect like thing that you plant with tomatoes if you want good tomatoes. But marigold also is the name of the girl from Downton Abbey. She's the daughter of Edith. And so this took place in the early 1900s. Obviously it's a show, so it's not real. But it was basically where she starts working her own business and meets this guy. And they have a love affair. Like they you know, and obviously that was really bad at the time for them. It was seen bad because of the time period they lived in. Well, anyways, she ended up getting pregnant and he went off to Germany. And this was during like a bad time in Germany and he never returned. And so she ended up, she was pregnant. And so anyway, she ended up having the child, but she had to hide it from everyone. I remember she went to America and she had to hide this child. And anyways, there's this entire like thing going on throughout the show where she was hiding that this girl was her child, and she had one of the farmers watching the daughter. It's a really it's kind of sad just how like all of that happened, but in the end like it came out and everyone recognized that that was her daughter. So it was beautiful, but she had to go through a lot because of that. Her as a mother, like the pain of all of that and having to hide that. So this could just represent something hidden even, because it's sitting right underneath this, and this is exactly what led to the her having a daughter, but it was in a different time period where it was like unacceptable. So then we have Wednesday right under Ace of Cups. So Wednesday. So today is Saturday. So did something happen on Wednesday, or Wednesday is important in some way to you? Either this past Wednesday, a Wednesday, or this coming up Wednesday. Something emotional, an emotional birth of something. Yeah, if I remember correctly, you guys had a beautiful reading last time. It was about a relationship, a beautiful relationship. You've had these like really emotional relationship themes in your last readings. Something about being like some kind of taboo thing happening. Something being unaccepted by the family or society that you're in. And almost has this like marigold kind of feeling to it, like this like love being maybe even perceived as unacceptable. The product of it even. But your last reading was really, really beautiful. It was like a marriage night. It was really, really, it was a beautiful reading. Okay, then we have Queen Irby right here, right between Ace of Cups and Eight of Swords. Hi, baby. Oh, is your butt right in the... Okay. Okay, Queen Irby. My goodness gracious, little one. All right, you're gonna have to get down. Queen Irby. So this is one of my favorite artists, just because she's like... She's just... I just love her. She just doesn't care what anyone thinks of her, and yeah, and she's like spiritual. She has her own spiritual thing, but she's like not afraid of being petty when it's called for. And I feel like sometimes I can like tick off like certain like spiritual people, you know, just like I just love her. I love it. She doesn't give a fuck. She does not care what anyone thinks of her. She's gonna do her own thing. She has her own spiritual vibe. And it's just kind of like, she doesn't like being underestimated. It's, you know, I feel like most everyone understands what that feels like. Queen Irby. She's been putting out some new music lately. She just put out the Fool song. I've been listening to it a lot. About the Fool card. Like not being afraid to be the fool, not being afraid to jump into something, not being afraid to be foolish, not being afraid of, yeah, just beginning something new and just understand. It just reminds me of starting at a new the bottom of a new mountain. That came through in a collective reading recently. Like just not being afraid of starting at a new mountain, like at the bottom, and knowing that you're gonna have to climb up it. Like if it's something that you love and that you are passionate about, like if this is love, like literal like love, like just knowing that it's going to be hard work. Whatever this is about, and knowing the investment that you're putting into something, making your kingdom, like working hard on your kingdom, the inner parts of who you are. Like even for like another person, like making sure that it's a home for another person. But this can mean just even your just like your actual home, or like just some other things in your life. But the dove is sitting right underneath this. It just feels beautiful. So, okay, one of these dots actually represent Archangel Michael to me. I'm not going to say what the other ones are. I don't think it's going to be relevant here. But one of these represent Archangel Michael, which can mean like protection. Just being your own angel. That actually just came through for the Aquarius reading. They actually had Archangel Michael in their reading though. But whatever angel means to you, just like being able to show up for yourself, being able to show up for even like a connection, doing the right thing. I'm thinking about Marigold. Like something maybe even seen as like taboo, but you've got to do what you've got to do in order to like protect it. Like it was her child. She just had to do what she had to do at that time period that she was in to protect her child. And she made mistakes. Like she wasn't perfect. She just wanted, she just made mistakes, and just being unafraid of making mistakes, even since we have the Queen Irby thing with the Fool song coming through. Yeah, this dove energy. So yeah, I'm going to be getting it on my right here. It's just like part of my alchemy. It's a big part of like my spiritual work. And it's also connected to the moon. I'm going to get the moon right here. It's deeply connected to the moon for me. Emotional. Let's say this kind of reminds me of that energy. But we have the dove sitting underneath the kingdom energy, or inner kingdom. Just freedom. Liberation, emotional liberation. If this does represent feeling confined in something, I'm really not getting that energy. It's almost like recognizing like what's worth. It feels like a recognition of this hard work. Recognition of what's worth what to you. What is worth your hard work? What is worth your effort? What is worth even your emotional protection? Like whether or not this is like protecting a family, a person, a child, a project even. Like this could mean just many different things for people. It feels extremely like partnership. But that's not going to be everyone's story. Just we have like this like beautiful energy going on over here. And then obviously the poem that I wrote about this card. Literally doing whatever it takes for something, walking the hard path, following the steps that you need to take, finding your way, knowing what is worth, what love, knowing that love is worth it even. Whatever this is about. Like you've just had so many readings about love and like this like almost like I want to say taboo nature of something, but it doesn't feel like it's bad. It just feels like it's something that like other people have not like I'm thinking of even like a cultural energy or like just a society, even a family, something that is like what like a family has determined as wrong, a culture has determined as wrong, a society, whatever, has determined as wrong. But what came through was it wasn't wrong outside of that society, outside of that family, outside of that whatever it is. It's just that whatever it's within there's like that projection upon it. But you have this beautiful energy sitting right underneath it. Emotional liberation. Archangel Michael. I'm just being guided to, or shown, I'm looking at her wings, his wings. Like this is kind of a hermaphrodite energy. But like the wings, the white wings. Okay. And then elaborate stories. This almost kind of feels like even stories that people have created or put upon you, put upon this. Even elaborate stories that make you feel confined, even afraid, like to come forward, to share, to be open, because it's sitting right underneath Scout and Marigold, like someone watching something, and then Marigold, the you could say illegitimate child, and then elaborate stories right underneath those things with the lovers and an emotional embrace. Elaborate stories. Colorful stories. This could mean a beautiful energy. This could literally mean like there's just like this beautiful story around this. And once you get past all of this other like whatever this like confining energy is, there's a beautiful story to be told. But this could also just mean like feeling confined in other people's stories, and the stories of like a family, and the stories of your culture, your country even, you know. Okay, then we have Vikings. So this one has actually come through in a big way for me in the last few days. And I actually got 888 on a Ivor video that said, be ruthless. And I've watched it several times already, just because I relate to that energy. But Vikings, I actually clicked it because I remember this sitting on my desk. Vikings, 888, Ivor, be ruthless. That was what his dad said to him, Ragnar. Be ruthless. Everyone's going to underestimate you. Make them pay for it. I love that. I love that kind of intensity. Just like making something that is like even flawed, something that other people have like made fun of you for, or like put upon you. Like he was crippled. And they made that his issue, like that he wasn't a true man, that he wasn't a true Viking, he wasn't a true warrior, but he was actually probably the most worthy Viking to be leader of in the way that their life, you know, was set up with, you know. Not saying that Viking is necessarily something you want to look up to, like in the kind of like the bloodshed, but just kind of like how it was, how his father talked to him about that. Be ruthless. Okay. Just thinking about like this Archangel Michael energy, be ruthless. Like this is supporting your energy. This is a supportive energy. Be ruthless. 888. We have the 8 of Swords with the dove sitting underneath it. Queen Irby. It's okay to be a fool. It's okay to jump into something new. It's okay to be seen as foolish. I just heard write your story. Yeah, with the Goddess Watch though. Goddess Watch. Something being observed. I mean, we have the Scout energy, which is like an observance, like something going out and like almost collecting information. But it doesn't have to be. It could be a good energy. I don't want to like turn that into anything kind of bad, because it was coming through as ogre, which is reminding me of Shrek, and that was not a bad energy. And if anything, he was almost like a scout. He went to go find the princess and then fell in love with the princess. But he had a duty. He was bringing the princess back to the kingdom, or a kingdom. Baby, honey. But Goddess Watch. Could just be like an observance of something, a recognition of something. Honey. Yes, something needs attention. I know. I know. Something needs attention. Oh my gosh. Sorry guys, he's just, it's almost dinner time, so he's just letting me know. Okay. Goddess Watch. Okay. Are these two people observing each other? You know, just because we have the 2 2s sitting right here, we also have the 2 of Earth sitting right underneath this. And I don't like to focus on the card that isn't showing, but we have 2 2 2 here. Goodness gracious, his butt is all right in the camera. Okay, honey, you gotta go. You gotta go. Something needs attention in Goddess Watch. Unless this just means something to you, unless you already know what this is about, I'm not getting anything else from something needs attention. The Fire. You could even say this is it doesn't have to be, just because we have this emotional equal thing going on. This could be like the twin flame energy within a relationship, and maybe the recognition of both the emotional equal and the fire equal, the twin flame, the soulmate. Goddess Watch. Yeah, nothing else is coming through for that, so I'm not gonna keep focusing. Guess be observant. If there's something that needs attention within a relationship, within the passion, or even an awareness about something, about that you're being watched, that you've entered into a rite of passage, a new elevation in your life, or a partnership has, because it feels very like this side looks like the actual relationship, partnership, and this looks like what you're doing right now to almost like prepare for something or heal, reclaim. I mean, emotional liberation, that just keeps coming through. Emotional liberation. So something needs attention. Okay. Tell your story in some way, or just start recording it, or start writing it down, put it into art, poetry. Like, that's what I did. Like, I started putting my story into poetry because that was the best way that I was able to explain it without having to be like exact and detailed. I put the beauty of it into poetry. Like, even just like that, into a craft. We have elaborate stories here, so this could literally mean just writing your story, reclaiming your story, making sure no one rewrites your steps, that your steps are your own. What you've gone through is your own. The beauty of something. Maybe this is even, since we've had all that like taboo energy come through, it doesn't have to be for you or your story. Just making sure that no one puts onto it what it's not. You know, and typically, like, when you're in like a culture that doesn't accept the things that you've chosen for yourself, when they've like deemed something else to be more important, they can tend to turn you into like a pariah, or make your story something that it's not, demonize your story, make it perverted, you know, when it's actually quite beautiful. I've experienced this in my own life. So, and I recorded my story. I made sure that my story was written from my side, and it's beautiful. So just like making sure that like elaborate stories, if you need to correct the narrative on something, it feels like this is the something needs attention, maybe this is the time to do it, or at least start making the first steps, because technically this is the 2 of water and the 2 of fire. It's the very beginning of something, just putting some effort in, some intention in. Like, this technically is a projection of the manifestation. It's like being able to see where you want to go. And the 3 of fire is the manifestation coming in, or the actual like walk of it. So this is the projection. It's the vision, the creation of where you want to go, knowing where the bullseye is, knowing what the bullseye is, knowing what the intention is, knowing what your first steps are going to be. It just feels good. It doesn't feel like you've done anything wrong. It just looks like, it looks beautiful, whatever this is. And you literally have Archangel Michael energy right here with you. The daughter of Poseidon energy. Or Poseidon, like, you know. This beautiful, pure emotional energy. Pure fire. Pure earth. Like, this is, since it's the 2, that the 222. The eggs. Your soul's inheritance. Something that you were divinely here to create. Incubation. Like, this is another thing. Like, you don't have to tell anyone what you're doing. Like, if this is something that's between you and yourself, or you and a partner, just like make that, keep it what it is. Incubate your eggs. Not everyone has to know what you're sitting on. Okay, I think I'm gonna go ahead and leave that here. Yeah, Vikings, the 888. We have the 222, the 888. Be ruthless. Everyone's going to underestimate you. Make them pay for it. I mean, that's what I'm doing in my own life. I very much feel the fire from it, that passion. So whatever that means for you right here. It's sitting right underneath Queen Irby and Wednesday. I don't know what else Wednesday would mean. I mean, there's a show called Wednesday with Wednesday Addams. I haven't watched it, but she's a daughter, the Addams family, and it's sitting here with my Daughter of Poseidon card. That might be interesting to look up, Wednesday. See if there's like any synchronicities around that. Yeah, Vikings. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and leave it here, Capricorn. I hope you got some alchemy, some questions, some answers that you needed, and I wish you well, and I hope to see you next time.